Let's start with Superfast 50 stoking a major controversy. Congress leader Randeep Surjewala abused and insulted the voters, saying that those who support the BJP are no less than demons.
राक्षस हो तुम लोग। भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जो वोट देता है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो समर्थक है वो राक्षस प्रवृत्ति का व्यक्ति है। मैं आज महाभारत की इस धरती से श्राप देता हूं।
Randeep Singh Surjewala launched yet another personal attack on the Prime Minister. The Congress leader said that the Prime Minister is not a ruler, rather an asur. BJP spokesperson meanwhile responded to the comments that were made by the Congress leader, saying that the Congress has crossed all limits and that the statements by the Congress leader is reflective of its mindset.
देखिए, लोकतंत्र में जनता को हम जनार्दन अर्थात भगवान का स्वरूप मानते हैं, परंतु जो लोग अफजल को अफजल गुरु जी कहते हैं, जिनकी पार्टी की संस्कृति हाफिज सईद साहब कहने वाली हो, उनको तो आज जनता भी राक्षस नजर आ रही है। 23 करोड़ जनता जिन्होंने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट किया है वो राक्षस है। ये वही लोग हैं जो भारत माता की हत्या की कामना करते हैं। ये भारत के लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं के खिलाफ विदेशी धरती पर जाकर बोलते हैं। कल तक ईवीएम और इलेक्शन कमीशन पर सवाल उठा रहे थे और आज भारत की जनता पर सवाल उठा रहे हैं।
Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar also hit out at Surjewala over his remarks. The Chief Minister said that this is unparliamentary language and that the Congress must take cognizance and issue an apology.
वृत्ति के परिवार में जन्मा ये व्यक्ति ही सोच सकता है कि इस प्रकार का अभद्र भाषा बोलना, ये मैं समझता हूँ असंसदीय भाषा है। निश्चित रूप से इसका हम संज्ञान लेंगे।
India-China 19th round of Corps Commander talks are taking place at Chushul border meeting point in eastern Ladakh. The military talk is an attempt to ease the standoff along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh, which is in its 4th year now. Remember, the meeting comes ahead of Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping's meet in South Africa for the BRICS summit. 9 people have lost their lives and 3 others are still said to be missing, whereas 5 others have been rescued after a cloudburst was reported at a village in SOLAN district of Himachal Pradesh. Meanwhile, 15 to 20 people are still feared buried in 2 incidents of landslide in Shimla. Rescue operations are still underway to rescue those trapped in the debris. As incessant rains wreak havoc across various districts in Himachal Pradesh, Chief Minister of the state reached Shimla where the landslide was reported, saying that at least confirming the death of at least 9 in the landslide. As incessant rains continue to wreak havoc across various parts of Himachal Pradesh, a 2-story building collapsed like a deck of cards in Mandi district of Himachal Pradesh. The work is still on to clear the debris. Landslide also struck a temple in Shimla that also posed a threat to nearby buildings in Himachal's Shimla. Several people are still said to be stranded after the incident. More news from across the country. News from the landslide hit Shimla, where in the backdrop of flood-like situation in the state, all schools and colleges will remain shut today due to incessant rains. Meanwhile, rescue operations are still on in Shimla, where landslide has been reported. In news from Uttarakhand, where ALAKNANDA river is in spate, the IMD has said that non-stop rains will only worsen the situation in several districts of the state, saying that people have been advised to take precautions in wake of the red alert situation. Due to extremely heavy rains in Himachal Pradesh, normal life has come to a standstill. A report from Chamoli district said, in fact, the news that's come from Chamoli, due to heavy rains, rainwater even entered several shops in the area which have been damaged as a result of the same. Heavy to heavy rainfall has resulted in massive property damage in Dehradun as well. A college, defense college building also collapsed as a result of heavy rainfall in Dehradun. On Partition Horror Remembrance Day today, Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah paid homage to the victims of 1947. Taking to social media platform, the Prime Minister said that we must reverently remember those Indians whose lives have been sacrificed in the partition of the country. As India celebrates the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, Union Home Minister Amit Shah also hoisted Tiranga at his residence in the national capital. Union Minister G. Kishan Reddy posted a picture on social media platform saying that call given by Prime Minister Modi must be adhered by one and all, and that Tiranga must fly high at every household across the country. The Jharkhand governor, meanwhile, also participated in the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign that's been organized as part of the 76 years of independence in the country. Delhi Mayor, as well as the Deputy Mayor and top leader of the House, Mukesh Goyal, hoisted tricolour in the national capital ahead of the Independence Day celebrations. The Jawans of the ITBP proudly displayed the Tiranga at the borders in the state of Uttarakhand that symbolizes the spirit of valor and sacrifice that our nation has been built upon. In more news from across the country, a day after meeting with his nephew Ajit Pawar, NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar has now stoked a fresh controversy, saying that Jayant Patil is now on the BJP's target list for poaching by the BJP. In news from the national capital, where two glasses on the doors of the AIMIM chief OWAISI'S house were broken, according to police, no stone or any such thing was found in the vicinity of the broken glass of the house. Meanwhile, a probe has been initiated by the Delhi police. Kannada actor UPENDRA has been booked for his alleged casteist slur. The actor turned politician had made these remarks during a social media live that he was doing. The actor has now issued an apology for hurting the sentiments of a community. However, he's been booked under the SC and ST Atrocities Act. Students of the Bangalore University which included post-graduation and research scholars association, staged protest against the Kannada actor's remarks. Massive sloganeering also took place against the actor in Bengaluru. In news from Punjab, where a Pak intruder was shot dead along the international border in Punjab's Pathankot, this after the border security force noticed some suspicious movement at around 12:30 a.m. Near a village in Pathankot. The troops challenged the intruder, but he did not stop and continued walking ahead, as a result of which the BSF Jawans opened fire, killing the intruder on the spot. Followed by the alleged suicide of a NEET aspirant in Chennai, the student's father also allegedly committed suicide earlier today. NEET aspirant allegedly committed suicide the day before, in fact on Saturday, after failing to clear the NEET exam in Chennai. A day after the 19-year-old boy reportedly died by suicide after failing to clear the NEET exam, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has now appealed to the NEET aspirants not to harbour any suicidal tendencies but face life with self-confidence. Krishna Janmabhoomi Trust has now filed a plea in the top court seeking a scientific survey of the Shahi Eidgah Mosque in Mathura adjacent to the Krishna Janmabhoomi Krishna Temple complex. As per the plea states that they would want a survey like Gyan Vapi of the complex. In more news from across the country, capital markets regulator SEBI has sought 15 days' time to complete its probe into the Adani Group's dealings. According to the legal filing, SEBI, which was due to submit its report, has now stated that it would need 15 days' time in its application that it has submitted to the top court. The next orbit reduction maneuver to bring India's ambitious Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft closer to the moon's surface is scheduled for today. In fact, was scheduled between 11:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. today. Before this, the Indian Space Research Organization's latest move to moon moved closer to the moon's surface on 9th of August. In more news, this from across the globe, US Congressman Ro Khanna has responded to the most recent Khalistani provocation that was reported in San Francisco in the US, saying, and I quote, "It was unconscionable. This was no place. There is no place for that, and I strongly condemn this attack on the embassy." South Korea's military has said that they would hold combined exercises with the US military starting next week to strengthen the combined defense. The combined exercise will take place amid North Korean threats to ramp up production of missiles and other weapons. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un once again toured major munitions factories and has now ordered a drastic increase in production of missiles and other weapons. Kim visited factories producing tactical missiles, mobile launch platforms, armored vehicles and artillery shells on Friday as well as Saturday. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un meanwhile also criticized officials for their irresponsible actions in responding to a tropical storm that recently hit the Korean peninsula. The storm, named Kanun, caused heavy rains and brought about significant damage in North Korea. In news from Pakistan, a day after Anwarul Haq was appointed as a caretaker Prime Minister of the country, he's announced his resignation from the Senate as well as the BAP. The caretaker Prime Minister said that it was his responsibility to hold free and fair elections, for which he has to cooperate with the Election Commission, and that he had to take the decision to step down from his earlier posts. The Russian Defense Ministry meanwhile released footage of warships in the Arctic Ocean where training drills were being held. The drills are part of command and staff training for the Russian NADU fleet, according to the ministry. Russia also conducted a 3-wave air attack over the southern city of Odessa in Ukraine. The Air Force of Ukraine, meanwhile, also reported intercepting all the 15 drone attacks and 8 caliber missiles as well. After months of Ukraine counter-offensive and Russia's defense, Ukraine has become the world's most extensively mined nation, as stated by its defense minister. People in Japan's Kansai region brace for another typhoon, which is expected to make landfall in the nation's mainland. Typhoon Lan is expected to reach in fact, in the next few hours, Japan's meteorological agency has issued warnings as well of heavy rains accompanied with strong winds and mudslides. Rescue crews in an Italian alpine city were searching for possible missing people on path of mountain stream that violently burst its banks after heavy rainfall, resulting in mudslide. In news from the world of sports, India's coach Rahul Dravid said that T20 series loss to West Indies had shown that the team does need more batting depth after the defeat in the 5th and final match that took place on Sunday. FIFA president visited Port Moresby and opened the new headquarters of Papua New Guinea Football Association as he discussed ways of developing football in the country with its leaders, including Prime Minister James Marape. France forward joined PSG after Barcelona agreed to transfer deal worth $55.2 million for the explosive winger. The arrival at PSG on a 5-year contract comes amid speculations that Neymar could be on his way out. NAT'L captured the attention of all of Australia as they've made their way to a first ever World Cup semi-final. The Matildas will face England in Sydney on Wednesday. Sweden trained on the eve of taking on Spain in the Women's World Cup semi-finals in Auckland that would be taking place tomorrow. Meanwhile, Spain finalized their preparations in Auckland ahead of facing Sweden for a place in the final at the Women's World Cup that would take place tomorrow. Pedro, on the other hand, scored last gasp penalty for Flamengo to cancel Sao Paulo's lead through a returning Lucas Moura as the team shared the spoils in this match. Germio beat Fluminense by 2-1 in the match. German Cano pushed his side forward early and was rewarded with the opening goal after 20 minutes into the match. Jannik Sinner broke new ground when he captured his first ATP Masters 1000 title at the National Bank Open. The Italian produced a clean hitting display in Toronto to earn a victory against Alex de Minaur. Cameron Smith lifted the LIV Golf title after a spectacular match with his counterpart. The opponent, Smith, won for the second time in the 3 LIV Golf events and took over the season points race in his attempt to claim the $18 million bonus at the end of the season.